is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Casey, joined by Todd Clausen from home. It is Monday, the start of a brand new work week. Todd, what can we expect in the forecast? We know we had some rain showers in the early morning hours. What did that do to our weather out there?
Yeah, we can't rule out the chance of another quick passing shower here this afternoon, Lauren, but we're not looking at anything substantial. No thunderstorms like we went through yesterday when we had those severe thunderstorm warnings. And temperature-wise, it's pretty seasonable out there. Right now, we're sitting in the 70s and 80s, right at 81 in Indianapolis. And the humidity, it's out there, but it's not super high, so it's not the oppressive kind of day that we dealt with over the course of the weekend. And here's the view in downtown Indianapolis right now, and it's absolutely beautiful as you look off to the east from IMS, past downtown there into the distance, just a few fair weather clouds and some higher clouds mixing in as well. But as we go over to Storm Team 6 radar, you notice there's a few showers here down near Terre Haute and then across the state line in Illinois. This is what it's going to look like going forward throughout the day across parts of central Indiana. There'll just be a stray shower here or there. As far as these stronger storms that are off to our west, they will not get here until tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have the better chance of some strong to severe storms across the area, and the temperatures get a little bit warmer as well going throughout the week. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Breaking this midday, we have a sad update to a large apartment fire that happened on the west side last week. A 12-year-old boy who was found inside the burning complex by first responders has died from his injuries. Jeremiah Vincent and his mother, Kiana Jones, had been pulled from the building on Lupine Terrace near West 34th Street and I-465 last Wednesday morning. Jones died from her injuries later that day. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. An internal investigation continues after a police shooting left a man dead on Indy's northeast side. Police were called out to North Parker Avenue just before midnight Saturday for a domestic disturbance. When officers arrived, they say that a man came outside and started shooting at officers. Police say one officer returned fire and the man went back inside. IMPD says at least 3 homes were damaged from the suspect's gunfire, including a home where police say bullets narrowly missed a 21-month-old baby who was sleeping. Police tell us the man stopped negotiating with a SWAT unit. SWAT officers went inside the home and they say the man opened fire on them. The suspect was hit by return fire and later died at a hospital. So far, police have not released the name of that suspect. Indiana has seen an increase in COVID-19 cases as of late. The newest numbers from the State Department of Health show an additional 658 cases were reported. That is down from the previous day, but the state's 7-day moving average continues to be on the rise. And it's been in the upswing for the past 3 weeks now. Hospitalizations were also up slightly. However, the state's intensive care bed capacity did rise to 36.1% on Sunday. The ongoing pandemic means a later start to the school year for Indianapolis public school students. Classes were scheduled to start on August 3rd, but now IPS is saying it will delay that start date by 2 weeks to August 17th. Superintendent Alicia Johnson says the delay was driven by data from the state and local health leaders. She says her team is ready to move with whatever the pandemic brings.
That flexibility and responsiveness have to be, our key priorities, particularly as it relates to safety. We've said from the beginning that we know, given the context of this virus, we need to be ready really at a moment's notice.
Johnson says IPS still plans to provide both in-person and full-time remote learning options. Registration for the virtual option has been extended. So far, about 8,500 students have enrolled in this remote learning option. That's about 25% of the student population. IPS's move was just the latest from the school districts making the adjustments due to the pandemic. Hamilton Southeastern schools will start their school year with virtual instruction only on August 6th, and that will continue through at least Labor Day. The school district is expected to release more details later this week. And the latest school district to announce a delay in classes is down in Johnson County. Today, Clark Pleasant Community Schools announced that they would hold off on the start of classes by 1 week until August 6th. The superintendent says this will give more time for teachers and staff to have safety measures in place for students and also prepare for virtual instruction for students who are using that option. We want you to know we're compiling a list of central Indiana school districts and their return plans, and we add more daily to this list. You can look for the details all on our website, theindychannel.com. Indiana is now among a majority of states battling rising COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations. In many other states, ICU beds are at or near capacity, and some people are waiting several days to get their test results back. ABC's Inez de la Cotera is in Washington now with the latest.
This morning, a grim new figure. The COVID-19 death toll in the U.S. surpassing 140,000. And while not a record, daily U.S. infections approached 70,000 in the past 24 hours. Texas, one of 8 states setting new records for daily deaths. Officials there bringing in refrigerated mobile morgues as hospitals are becoming overrun.
There are going to be deaths, and we have to plan ahead for that.
In Florida, 12,400 new cases on Sunday, one of its highest daily totals, and less than 20% of ICU beds are available statewide. John Place, a father of 3, spent 17 days on a ventilator after being exposed to the disease by his 21-year-old son, who had been hanging out with his friends.
They're not understanding that if they walk out again and infect somebody else and bring it home, especially if they live in a multi-generational home, other people aren't going to be so lucky.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti admitting his state probably opened too soon and warning of a likely second shutdown of America's second largest city.
I think we're on the brink of that. We have to be as vigilant right now as we were the first day.
In other parts of the country, people are finding it difficult to even get a test. Brian Delving flying from California to Idaho for testing.
I feel like I'm taking a risk, definitely, but we're taking a risk every day that we can't get an appointment, and whether we can get a test, we can't get results.
This as the debate over when and how to reopen schools continues. In Orlando, Florida, a parent and a teacher joining forces to sue the Orange County School District, claiming the district doesn't have enough resources to follow CDC guidelines for reopening, like social distancing in classrooms and safe transportation for students. But there is some good news. Oxford University expected to release potentially promising early results from their COVID-19 vaccine, showing a positive immune response protecting against coronavirus in phase 1 and phase 2 of its trial. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News, Washington.
Well, today is the day that a number of stores and other businesses make mandatory that you need to wear masks if you want to shop there. Mask mandates are underway today at Walmart, CVS, and Kohl's. You must also wear a mask if you're eating at restaurants that belong to the Cunningham Restaurant Group. That includes Brew Burger Bar and Stone Creek Dining Company. Hughes Culinary Group, the owner of St. Elmo's Steakhouse and Harry and Izzy's, also requires customers to wear a face covering. You can find a list of businesses where you must wear a mask at theindychannel.com. The start of school could mean more cases of child abuse will be exposed. Next, why a report of abuse being down during the pandemic and how you can help to make sure that our kids are protected. Todd.
And Lauren, it's a nice day for us here in Progress across central Indiana. Skies are partly cloudy, and there's just a small chance of a few showers out there, but the temperatures are going to be nice and seasonable. A live look in Bloomington just shows the fair weather clouds moving through. We'll talk more about today's forecast and look ahead to tomorrow when severe weather enters the picture, coming up when the news at noon continues right here on RTV6.
Welcome back. Advocates are preparing for an increase in reported child abuse cases when students return to school. Abuse reports have been down since March when schools closed due to the pandemic. Advocates for children worry the decrease is because people who usually report abuse and neglect, like teachers, are not seeing the kids in person. Organizations like Court-Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA, are looking for more volunteers ahead of this expected increase in reports of child abuse.
You can just do the bare minimum. Make a huge impact on a child's life every month. Meet the child, make sure they're safe. I'm a huge believer that the judge can only make the best decision if they hear all sides. And if it wasn't for child advocates, she would not hear that side of a child.
Right now, CASA training is all virtual. Only 6 hours a month is required to volunteer. You can find out more information at theindychannel.com. And remember, under state law, anyone who suspects child abuse or neglect is required to report it. The Department of Child Services hotline number is 1-800-800-5556. A new program is putting roofs over the heads of those who don't have a place to call home. Next, we'll take a look at the program and how it could be the first of its kind in the nation. And here's a live look outside right now. Just a few light clouds over central Indiana. We'll check in with Todd and see what we can expect for our forecast the rest of the afternoon and look ahead to the rest of your work week. That's all coming up. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6. Welcome back. As the pandemic drags on, high unemployment could mean that the housing crisis could be just around the corner. One organization is getting innovative, though, when it comes to helping Hoosiers keep a roof over their heads. Our own Troy Washington is working for you to show us how a unique program is putting families on the path towards success.
For Leola Jimenez, money was getting tight and her family was tired of calling a hotel room home.
The money ran out and it's like, I don't know what's going to happen now because we had nowhere else to go. I was worried about my son.
Through Family Promise of Indianapolis, she doesn't have to worry about any of those things as she puts herself in position to stand on her own 2 feet through the apartment shelter project.
Normally, we have 30 churches, congregations, and temples that work with us to provide transportation, food, as well as shelter for families. When COVID happened, all that had to come to a stop because we wanted to keep our volunteers safe, as more importantly, our families safe as well.
The Interfaith Hospitality Network used to host families at churches and temples, but because of COVID-19, all of that has changed. Here's the upside, though. Now they're able to help more families. Families like this one are given up to 90 days to focus all of their attention and savings on getting into their own place. Family Promise guides them every step of the way to set them up for success once they leave the program.
We're actually operating the rate at 89%. That's the highest we've ever been in terms of successful people being housed. We worked with a few different partnerships, one of them being Mustard Seeds. They're our furniture bank where they assisted with furnishing almost all our units, almost to a T, where everything that Mustard Seeds didn't get, we have 1,500 volunteers in those 30 congregations and churches and temples we work with that work to put all the household items in here. So families came into the units with dishes, silverware, all cleaning supplies.
I don't even know the last time I was able to cook in the kitchen because it's been like that long. It makes us feel like we're family.
Now that these families have their peace of mind back, stepping out on their own is next. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. Some landlords are allowing families to take over the lease, meaning they don't have to move again. For other landlords, families can't stay there past 30 to 90 days, but they do get priority in renting their own unit in that development. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by from home this midday. Todd, what can we expect as we head out the door the rest of this afternoon?
You know, it's a decent afternoon for us here, Lauren, all across the area. I will say there is a small chance of a few quick passing showers that you could encounter if you are going to be out and about, but they'll be very light and they'll be very quick. Nothing like the thunderstorms or the heavy rainfall that we saw yesterday. The view from downtown to the north right now shows a little bit more in the way of cloud cover than we have seen, but it's not really impacting the temperatures all that much, as we're already up to 81 degrees in Indy as well as Bloomington. 77 is the current temperature in Kokomo, and we're still on track for highs today that are going to be anywhere from about 84 to 88 degrees. 85, that is our average high for this time of year. So we're right on track temperature wise. And again, there's just the chance of that quick passing shower. Let me go over to the satellite radar picture and you can see that the clouds are in place across parts of the area. Give you a little bit of closer look over here near the Terre Haute area, and you can see a couple of these showers now sneaking in north of Terre Haute towards the Rockville area, and then there's another one just across the state line that's going to pass just north of Sullivan. And this is what we'll see throughout the course of the day today, at least during the afternoon hours. All these stronger storms that are near Evansville, these should bypass us down to the south. They're forming in what is more in the way of additional sunshine down there and a little more instability, a little closer to the front. So I don't think you have to worry about those thunderstorms, but again, a stray shower or two will be possible throughout the afternoon hours. And TrueCast is kind of picking up on that as we go throughout the course of the evening hours, and it's trying to paint one of those heavier showers down to the south. But again, if you did see something, not expecting any severe weather today, and everything should move through pretty quickly. Now, tomorrow it's a little bit of a different ball game for us in the sense that there could be some showers in the morning. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, depending on how those showers play out in the morning, could lead to some stronger storms in the afternoon. The less in the way of shower activities start the day on Tuesday, the better potential for some stronger storms as we get into the afternoon. So let me jump to TrueCast starting at 2 a.m. tonight, overnight into Tuesday morning. And overnight there could be a shower or two, but for the most part we should be dry. Then some scattered storms will be possible as early as Tuesday morning, but that's not what we're really going to focus on so much for the potential of severe weather. Notice by 2:30, the skies and the clouds are starting to break, and that's going to give us some sunshine. And the more sunshine we see tomorrow afternoon, the better potential for these stronger storms to roll in during the early evening hours across the state. And the Storm Prediction Center has put most of Indiana under the marginal risk for severe weather. That's the green that you see on the left-hand side of your screen. As far as the greatest risk time frame, it's 3 p.m. to about 9 p.m., maybe a little bit later in some eastern locations. And the greatest threat for everybody by far tomorrow is going to be the potential for damaging winds as some of these storms make their way through. So tomorrow is probably one of those days I would definitely recommend, if you're going to be out and about, that you do have the umbrella handy, at least in the car. You don't have to carry around all day, but at least have it nearby. More scattered storms Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but lots of dry hours mixed in as well. And then once we get to the weekend, that's when temperatures, Lauren, are back up to right around 90 degrees.
Todd, thank you. With the tens of thousands of Hoosiers unemployed right now, RTV6 has been working throughout this pandemic to highlight job openings through our Hiring Hoosiers initiative. Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau says that his organization is also part of a new partnership that's designed to help put more people back to work.
We know that many people have lost their jobs over the last couple of months. BBB and Indeed are trying to help people out. So what we did is BBB and Indeed have entered into a partnership where a business can go and they can create a new online profile and job on Indeed. And if they do this through BBB, they will get a $200 free job posting. So they can post up to $200 worth of Indeed services free. This is something that we're doing with Indeed. You do not need to be a BBB accredited business to take advantage of this. Really, any business can do this. And what Indeed has told us is that they have many more job seekers than jobs that are currently posted. So they really need businesses to post jobs. So if you go to our website, bbb.org, you can find the link. Go in there and it'll explain how to do this. But if you're a business and you have a job, please go to this website, post that job. You can post up to $200 worth of Indeed services. That should get you some very good candidates. So we're trying to put people back to work. So go to bbb.org, look for the link, and post a job. Get somebody working back to work.
Tim, thank you. And you can find more information at bbb.org. And of course, you can always find job listings across central Indiana right on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. I want to take a live look outside right now. Here's our Weather Now camera overlooking downtown Indianapolis. We're going to have another check of your forecast with Todd coming up when the news at noon returns here on RTV6. Well, this was certainly a different type of highway chase. A little dog named Astro appears to be okay after leading first responders on a chase down a Washington, D.C. expressway. There he goes. Astro's owner was involved in a crash, and first responders put the dog in a firefighter vehicle. But when Astro's owner went to get him, he escaped. The high-energy pup was just too fast for rescuers to catch as he sprinted down the beltway. Some drivers stuck in traffic even tried to help, but they failed too. Astro eventually veered off into the woods and finally slowed down enough that authorities could rescue him. Wow, what a chase there. I'm glad that he's back safe though, Todd. All right, let's get a check of our forecast right now on the radar this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, we're seeing a few spotty showers starting to flare up, Lauren, there on the western side of the state. By and large, most of us are just going to have partly cloudy skies throughout the day today, but where the clouds have been a little thinner throughout the morning hours, that's where some of these showers will flare up. So I think the best potential is going to be along I-70 and points to the south. If you do see one, no severe weather today. Should be pretty light and passing off very, very quickly. Better storm chances tomorrow, especially afternoon and evening when we do bring back the chance of severe storms, and then scattered storms all the way through Friday. Lauren.
Todd, thanks, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. Come back and join us for the news at 5, and have a great Monday afternoon.